The silent invasion. The night sky over Earth was no longer calm. Where stars once glimmered softly, now shadows of warships drifted, blotting out the heavens. People in cities across the planet looked upward and saw fire streaking across the atmosphere. Alien weapons lit the darkness like thunderstorms, and every explosion shook the world below. In the command center of Earth's defense fleet, red alarms flashed without pause. Screens showed hundreds of enemy ships pushing deeper into orbit. Humanity had fought hard, but the truth was undeniable. They were losing. General Marcus leaned over the table, his tired eyes locked on the tactical display. "We can't hold much longer," he muttered. Around him, officers exchanged fearful glances. No one wanted to say it out loud, but everyone knew the truth. Earth's fleets were collapsing, one ship at a time. On the surface, soldiers fought to protect the cities, but alien dropships rained down like endless storms. Civilians ran through burning streets, clutching children, carrying what little they could. Screams mixed with the roar of falling debris. Hope was fading with every passing second. In orbit, the last of Earth's capital ships formed a defensive line, a fragile wall of steel and fire. The pilots inside their cockpits sweated under the red glow of warning lights. Their voices crackled over comms, sharp with fear, yet still stubborn with courage. "Hold the line!" a captain shouted. "We can't hold if there's no line left," another replied bitterly. Alien warships advanced in perfect formation, their weapons glowing with sickly green light. They fired with merciless rhythm, tearing through human vessels as if they were made of paper. The sky became a graveyard of twisted metal and drifting bodies. Back in the command center, a young technician's voice trembled. "General, we're detecting something unusual." Marcus snapped his head up. "What do you mean unusual?" "It's not enemy fire, sir. Energy readings. Strong, but hidden." The room fell silent. All eyes turned toward the central display as lines of data streamed across. Somewhere high above Earth, an object moved, cloaked and invisible to the naked eye. Its presence had been masked until now, but the growing energy signature betrayed it. The officers whispered nervously. "Another alien fleet? Maybe reinforcements? If it is, we're finished." Marcus clenched his jaw. He knew this war was already close to lost. If more enemy forces joined, Earth would not survive the day. "Keep scanning," he ordered. His voice was steady, but his hand gripped the edge of the table so tightly his knuckles went white. In the skies above, fighter pilot Lieutenant Sarah Hale twisted her craft through burning debris. Her squad had been reduced from 12 to 4 in less than an hour. Her breathing was heavy, her fuel was low, and her hope was gone. Suddenly, her sensors flickered with strange interference. "Command, I've got something on my scope," she called out. "It's massive. Bigger than anything we've seen." The radio went silent for a moment. Then Marcus's voice came through. "We see it too. Stay clear until we know what it is." Sarah squinted through her cockpit glass. For a second, she thought she saw the stars bend, as though something enormous was shifting just beyond sight. Then it vanished again. Below, on the ruined streets of New York, civilians crouched in underground shelters. A boy pressed his ear to the ground and whispered to his mother, "Do you hear it?" Like thunder, but far away. His mother held him close and closed her eyes, praying silently. The alien fleet suddenly slowed. Their formations hesitated. Even the invaders seemed cautious, as though they too sensed the presence of something powerful in orbit. Their commanders barked orders, but unease rippled through their ranks. For the first time that night, the aliens did not advance. They watched. They waited. In the command center, the tension was unbearable. Marcus leaned closer to the screen, whispering words he did not mean to say out loud. "Friend or foe?" The technician shook his head. "Sir, I don't know. But whatever it is, it's not small, and it's not hiding anymore." The readings spiked. Energy levels surged higher than anything recorded in the battle. Slowly, agonizingly slowly, the cloak began to break. Pieces of the dark silhouette emerged, Against the stars, a massive outline took shape, a vessel unlike any seen before. Its hull shimmered with strange light, part metallic, part something beyond human design. It was colossal, dwarfing both human and alien ships alike. Gasps filled the command center. Soldiers and officers alike stared, wide-eyed. On the streets, civilians who saw it pointed to the sky in awe and fear. Even the aliens paused their fire. The object hovered silently, suspended above Earth like a ghost pulled out of legend. And then, without a sound, the cloak fell away completely. What stood revealed in the night sky was a ship that did not belong to any side of this war. It had arrived quietly, but its presence thundered across every human heart. The silent invasion had begun, but no one knew if this new arrival would save them or end them. The decloaking mystery, the unknown vessel, floated above Earth in complete silence. Its colossal frame blocked out constellations, turning the night sky into a canvas of shadows and strange glowing lines. Every human eye that looked up felt both awe and terror. It was unlike anything seen before, too advanced to be human, yet too different to belong to the invaders. In the Earth Defense Command, the room was frozen. No one moved, no one even breathed too loudly. The radar displays screamed with unreadable signals, energy readings climbing higher and higher. The technicians could not classify it. General, it's not matching any database, not alien, not ours, the lead analyst said with trembling lips. General Marcus stood tall, though his chest was heavy with dread. Then what is it? No one answered. The silence stretched longer, broken only by the sound of distant explosions echoing from the battle still raging in orbit. But then, the alien fleet began to hesitate. Their disciplined formations wavered, their ships slowing down as though uncertain. The invaders had been merciless until now, tearing through human defenses with mechanical precision. Yet when this unknown vessel appeared, even they showed caution. On board her fighter, Lieutenant Sarah Hale saw it up close. Her cockpit sensors screamed warnings she didn't understand. Command, this thing, it's bending my instruments. I can't get a lock on its mass. It's too heavy, but it's not. Her words made no sense, but Marcus understood the most important part. This ship was beyond them. Then, for the first time, the mysterious vessel stirred. Its surface shimmered, glowing lines like veins of energy rippling across the hull. The cloak peeled away piece by piece, dissolving like mist under a rising sun. Gasps filled the command center. Soldiers crowded around the screens. Civilians hiding underground pointed toward the heavens. Even alien soldiers on the ground lifted their heads, staring through the smoke-filled skies. The ship was massive, larger than Earth's biggest carriers, larger even than the alien flagships. Its hull gleamed with silver and obsidian, sharp, edges softened by curves that looked almost organic. Patterns ran across it, ancient symbols that pulsed faintly with light like a heartbeat. Is it alive? One officer whispered. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. For a moment she felt the strange ship was watching her, though no eyes could be seen. And then came the sound. It wasn't a weapon. It wasn't language. It was a deep hum that vibrated through the very air, a resonance so low it rattled bones. Across Earth, glass trembled in windows, oceans rippled, and mountains seemed to echo back the tone. Civilians screamed. Soldiers gripped their weapons tighter. The aliens snarled in confusion, some ships breaking formation completely. What the hell was that? Marcus demanded. The technician's face was pale. It's not communication. It's a pulse. Sir, that thing just sent out a signal across every channel. Radio, subspace, even frequencies we don't use. It touched everything. Marcus stiffened. And what did it say? The technician hesitated. His voice cracked when he finally replied. Nothing. It didn't send words. Just presence. It announced itself. The general's heart pounded. This was no accident. Whoever controlled that ship wanted everyone, human and alien, to know it was here. In orbit, the alien fleet faltered further. Their commanders shouted over encrypted signals, desperate to understand what they faced. Some ships began powering their weapons, but they hesitated to fire. Sarah whispered into her comms, more to herself than anyone else. Please. Please be on our side. As if in answer, the vessel shifted again. Panels along its hull unfolded, revealing structures that resembled wings. They weren't for flight, not in the vacuum of space. They were displays, shields, weapons, or maybe something entirely different. Blue light coursed along them, gathering at their edges. The command center went dead quiet. No one dared move. The technicians reported power levels spiking higher and higher. Whatever the ship was preparing, it could change the course of the war in seconds. Then, a single beam of light shot downward, not toward Earth, but across the battlefield. It cut through the darkness like a blade, striking an alien cruiser that had been moving closer. The ship didn't explode immediately. It simply unraveled, its hull peeling apart in silence before bursting into a million fragments. The blast was so precise, so terrifyingly controlled, that even the most hardened soldiers shuddered. The aliens screamed in rage and panic, firing at once. Hundreds of plasma bolts and missiles slammed into the unknown vessel. And yet, none of them hit. A shimmering barrier wrapped around the ship, bending the very paths of the weapons. Energy curved, missiles twisted away. Plasma fire dissolved before it touched the hull. The mysterious vessel didn't flinch. Instead, it raised more of its glowing wings, preparing for another strike. On the ground, people saw the sky lit with burning trails and alien firepower. But through the chaos, they also saw hope for the first time. Someone, something, was fighting back. Sarah's eyes widened. Her hands tightened around her controls. General, it's not attacking us, it's going after them. General Marcus exhaled slowly, almost in disbelief. Then maybe, just maybe, we are not alone in this fight. The alien fleet roared forward, their discipline breaking into desperation. The mysterious ship answered not with words but with fire. And in that moment, humanity realized the battle for Earth had changed forever. First contact in fire. The first alien cruiser had been destroyed in silence, torn apart like paper before a storm. That single strike from the unknown vessel froze the battlefield. For a heartbeat, the stars stood still. Then the galaxy roared back to life. The alien fleet unleashed everything they had. Beams of green plasma streaked across the void. Swarms of missiles tore through space. Energy cannons pulsed in waves, each one powerful enough to erase a city. All of it aimed at the silent intruder, but nothing touched it. The vessel shimmered with a shield that bent the laws of physics. Weapons curved away before impact, as though reality itself refused to let them strike. Explosions flared around it, but the ship remained untouched, majestic and terrifying. In her battered fighter, Lieutenant Sarah Hale's mouth went dry. She had fought aliens for weeks, seen friends torn apart in the cold black of space. But this was something beyond. Imagination, command, she whispered, her voice trembling. It's playing with them. It doesn't even flinch. Inside Earth Defense Command, the officers stared at their screens. The technicians reported impossible readings, shields absorbing not just energy, but momentum itself. General Marcus felt his chest tighten. He had seen war all his life, but never anything like this. Then the mysterious ship responded. Panels along its hull shifted, glowing brighter than stars. Dozens of thin beams lanced out at once. They weren't chaotic blasts. They were surgical, each one finding its target with perfect accuracy. Alien destroyers crumbled instantly. Carriers cracked open like eggs, spilling fire and wreckage into the void. In less than 2 minutes, ships that had terrified Earth for years were nothing but drifting husks. The aliens screamed over their comms, their voices picked up accidentally by human channels. They were afraid. For the first time, humanity heard fear in their invaders. Sarah's squadron flew in stunned silence, their cockpits lit by the glow of destruction. "Who are they?" one pilot asked softly. No one had an answer. Then, the unknown ship did something even stranger. It opened a channel, Every human frequency lit up at once. Static hissed, followed by a voice. Low, calm, undeniably human. We fight. For Earth. The words struck like thunder. Gasps filled the command center. Soldiers shouted in disbelief. Civilians in bunkers looked up at the cracked ceilings with tears in their eyes. A roar of hope spread across Earth like wildfire. But General Marcus didn't let himself relax. He leaned forward, gripping the table. That was human, he whispered. But how? No Earth ship has that kind of power. The aliens, enraged, regrouped. Their flagships moved forward, massive shadows dwarfing even the mysterious vessel. They unleashed weapons of devastating scale, beams wide enough to slice entire fleets apart. This time, the unknown ship moved. With speed that defied logic, it slid through space, evading blasts as though predicting them before they fired. Then, it answered with power unlike anything ever seen. A single arc of blue light swept across the battlefield. In its path, 3 alien flagships shuddered, their cores destabilizing. Seconds later, they erupted into fireballs that blinded sensors. Across orbit. Impossible, one officer breathed. No ship can do that. Yet it had. Sarah tightened her grip on her controls. She should have been afraid. Instead, she felt something else. Courage. For weeks, she had fought only to survive. Now she wanted to fight to win. Command, she said, her voice steady for the first time in days. Give us orders if this thing is on our side, and then we can push them back. Marcus hesitated. Was it safe? Could they trust this unknown vessel? But then he saw the faces around him. Soldiers who had been broken now stood straighter. Officers who had been silent now clenched fists with new resolve. They needed this. Earth needed this. Rally with it, Marcus ordered. Form up and follow its lead. If it fights for Earth, then we fight with it. Across orbit, human ships pulled into formation, battered, but unbroken. They aligned behind the mysterious vessel like knights gathering around. A giant, the aliens saw it and panicked. Their formations fell apart. Some ships fired wildly, others tried to retreat. The unknown vessel surged forward, leading the charge. Its weapons carved a path of light through the enemy. Human ships followed, their cannons blazing, their fighters swarming with renewed fury. For the first time in the war, Earth wasn't retreating. They were advancing. On the ground, civilians heard the news through static-filled radios. They're pushing them back. The aliens are falling. Cheers echoed through ruined streets. People hugged each other, tears mixing with soot. For the first time, hope felt real. In the sky above, Sarah's fighter danced alongside the glowing giant. She caught her breath as her comms crackled with its voice again. Stay close. Strike when we strike. It wasn't just powerful. It was commanding. Them teaching them. Fighting with them. The battle raged on, alien ships exploding one after another. But even in victory, one question burned in every human heart. If this vessel was fighting for Earth, then where had it come from? And more importantly, why had it waited until now to reveal itself? The battle turns. The battlefield above Earth had changed. Only an hour ago, alien fleets had been tearing through human defenses like fire through dry grass. Now, the tide had turned. Human warships, battered and broken, rallied behind the mysterious vessel. The once hopeless defenders were now striking back with fury. Their weapons, once scattered and desperate, now fired in unison, guided by the unknown ship's precise maneuvers. Every time the alien fleet tried to regroup, the vessel was already there, predicting their movements, carving through their formations with beams of impossible energy. In her fighter cockpit, Lieutenant Sarah Hale flew close to its shimmering hull. The closer she was, the more she felt it, an energy almost alive pulsing through the ship. It wasn't just metal and machinery. It felt aware. Command, Sarah whispered. It's like it knows them, like it's fought these aliens before. General Marcus heard her words from the command center. His heart tightened. If she was right, then this wasn't a coincidence. This ship hadn't just appeared. It had come prepared. Alien warships broke formation completely. Some captains ordered a retreat, pulling their fleets back into the darker edges of orbit, but others, desperate and enraged, hurled themselves forward. Massive carriers vomited out swarms of fighters, their engines burning red as they streaked toward the unknown vessel. The mysterious ship did not move. Instead, its glowing panels shifted again, forming strange geometric patterns across its surface. Then, with one pulse of light, hundreds of enemy fighters froze mid-flight. Sarah gasped. Through her cockpit, she saw alien craft stall, their engines flickering out. They hung motionless in the void like toys suspended by invisible strings. A moment later, the unknown ship released them, and they crumbled into fire, exploding in synchronized bursts across the sky. The humans watching cheered, but Marcus did not. His mind spun with questions. What kind of technology can do this? And if they fight for us now, what will they demand later? On the ground, civilians crowded rooftops despite the danger. They saw the sky filled with alien wreckage falling like burning stars. People cried out in joy. For the first time in months, the invaders were losing. In one shelter, a child whispered to her father, "Papa, is it an angel?" Her father, covered in ash and dust, could only stare upward, unable to answer. The aliens, pushed into desperation, unleashed their most terrifying weapon. From the heart of their fleet, a colossal flagship advanced. It was the size of a floating city, bristling with cannons, its hull scarred from decades of conquest. Its main weapon charged, glowing with green light that spread across its spine, like veins of poison. Every human ship scrambled. Sarah's squad screamed warnings. Commanders shouted orders. If that weapon fired, Earth would be split apart. Marcus's voice cracked over comms. "All ships fall back. That cannon will destroy you." But the mysterious vessel didn't retreat. Instead, it rose higher, placing itself directly in the path of the alien flagship. Its glowing panels flared brighter than ever, lines of light racing across its surface like a storm contained within steel. The alien flagship fired. The beam that erupted was beyond imagination. It split the darkness in half, a river of green, energy that swallowed space itself. Smaller human ships were thrown aside by the sheer pressure of it, their shields straining just to survive the shockwave. The unknown vessel absorbed it all. For seconds that felt like centuries, the green beam struck its shimmering shield. Space bent and cracked around it. Alarms screamed in every human cockpit. Sarah gritted her teeth, whispering prayers. And then, the beam faded. The mysterious ship still floated, untouched. Its shield rippled once like water after a stone drop, then grew calm again. Gasps filled the human fleet. The aliens roared in frustration. The balance of the battle shifted once more. The vessel answered with its own attack. Its panels unfolded completely, spreading wide like the wings of some ancient god. From their edges, blue light gathered and focused into a single spear of energy. It fired. The alien flagship's hull lit up as the beam struck. At first it resisted, its armor holding firm. But the pressure grew unbearable. Cracks spread like lightning across its surface. Then the entire ship split in two, exploding in silence. Before the shockwave tore across space, every human soldier who saw it shouted in triumph. Radios filled with cheers. Civilians wept in the ruins below. The impossible had happened. The invincible alien flagship was gone. Sarah's cockpit shook as debris whirled past her. She stared at the glowing vessel through wide eyes. It just saved Earth," she whispered. Marcus stood in silence, watching the screen. His officers celebrated around him, but his eyes narrowed. "No," he said softly. "It didn't just save us. It showed us something. The battle wasn't over." Alien fleets still lingered in orbit, retreating but not defeated. Yet the humans no longer fought alone. The mysterious vessel hovered silently, its wings folding back, its glow dimming to a steady heartbeat of light. The aliens had lost their greatest weapon. Humanity had found its greatest mystery. And somewhere, deep inside that ship, someone, or something, was waiting to be revealed. The revelation and aftermath. The battlefield fell quiet. For the first time since the invasion began, the skies above Earth were not filled with alien fire. Broken warships drifted across orbit, their glowing wreckage painting the heavens with streaks of orange and red. Human ships floated carefully, their engines humming, too stunned to move closer to the giant that had saved them. The mysterious vessel hung in the void like a guardian carved from shadow and light. Its shimmering panels dimmed, folding back into smooth black steel. It no longer attacked. It simply watched. In the Earth Defense Command, soldiers and officers cheered wildly. Tears ran down faces worn by weeks of fear. Some hugged each other. Others dropped to their knees in relief. For a moment, humanity believed it had won. But General Marcus remained still. His eyes never left the massive silhouette above Earth. Why now? He whispered to himself. Why appear only at the edge of defeat? His words carried the weight of suspicion. On the ground, civilians crawled out of ruined shelters. They stood in the streets of shattered cities, looking skyward. To them, the ship was no threat. It was a miracle. Cries of joy echoed through broken neighborhoods. "We are saved," they shouted. "Earth is saved." In orbit, Sarah Hale's fighter drifted close to the vessel's hull. She could see its details clearly now. The markings etched across its frame, strange symbols glowing faintly like scars from another age. They weren't alien, they weren't new, they looked old, ancient. "Command," she said softly into her comms. "These markings, they look human." The words silenced the entire channel. A low hum filled the comms, and then, once more, the ship opened a channel. Every human frequency lit up. Every speaker, every cockpit, every radio, every screen. A voice spoke. It was calm, it was steady, and it was unmistakably human. "We never left," the voice said. "We never abandoned Earth." Gasps rippled across the fleet. In the command center, officers froze mid-celebration. Civilians clasped their mouths in shock. The voice continued. "For centuries we waited, hidden, watching, waiting for the moment humanity would need us again." Sarah's heart pounded. She whispered, This isn't new. This is ours." Marcus leaned forward, his face pale. "But that's impossible. No ship like this has ever existed. Not in our history. Not in our records." The voice almost seemed to hear his doubts. "You are not the first to fight for Earth. Long before your time, we built this vessel in secret, a fortress among the stars. When the world fell silent, when war tore humanity apart, we cloaked ourselves. We became legend, waiting for the day Earth would need us again." The command center was silent. No one breathed. The unknown vessel turned slowly, its glowing panels spreading once more like wings. But this time, the light was gentle, not a weapon, a signal. "Now," the voice said, "the galaxy knows humanity will never kneel. We stand, we fight, and we endure." Civilians cried openly in the streets. Soldiers saluted with trembling hands. For the first time in living memory, Earth didn't just survive, it stood tall. But the mystery remained. Sarah's voice was soft in the comms. "Who are you? Where have you been?" The voice paused. For a heartbeat, the entire world held its breath. "We are the forgotten," it answered. "Born of Earth, bound to its defense. And though we walk unseen, we will always return when our home calls for us." The transmission ended. The massive vessel began to shimmer again. Its surface blurred as the cloak reactivated. Slowly, its colossal frame faded from sight, vanishing piece by piece into the night sky. Within moments, it was gone. Silence returned to orbit. The alien survivors fled, their fleets scattering into the dark void. Humanity had been spared for now. But the memory of what they had seen, what they had heard, burned into their hearts. General Marcus stared at the empty sky. His officers celebrated, but his mind remained troubled. If they have always been here, what else are they hiding? On the ground, a boy pointed upward where the ship had vanished. "Mama," he whispered, "will they come back?" His mother hugged him close, her eyes wet with tears. "If we ever need them again," she said, "they will." Above Earth, only wreckage remained, but hidden somewhere in the endless black, a ship cloaked once more, watching silently, waiting for the day it would fight again. And humanity knew, with a mix of pride and fear, that they were not alone, not now, not ever.